rude question, don't you think? Truth is, they were self-inflicted. Had a nightmare involving a scantily clad woman who tried to seduce me. Something was off about her, so I attacked her and she transformed into a rat that tried to gnaw my eyes out. And that's it. I woke up with scars on my face from trying to claw it off of me. I'm afraid I can't help you. This is a warehouse, not a shop. My orders are to keep track of the inventory and supplies that are to be distributed freely among the rest of the people in town. You're welcome to take supplies, I guess. I won't stop you, but at least have the decency not to take all the alcohol on the second floor. May we meet again.
Who are you? Oh, good. It's been a while since we received a visitor that was interested in some work. Sorry about the rude introduction. Let's just start over. I'm Marcus Pender, founder of this town. If you're looking for work, then I have the perfect task for you. I sent my daughter Kasia out over an hour ago to fetch some fresh goods from Ma Dato, and she hasn't returned. If you wouldn't mind, can you go look for her and bring her back immediately? I have some spare coins lying around to pay you for your trouble. It is. Consider it a test to see if you're reliable for jobs that require a little more leg work and pay a lot more gold. Okay, just come back with her soon, understand? I need to get back to planning.
Need something, grunt? I am a Tulg, a mercenary along with my comrade Bogdul. We will complete any mission as long as the pay is worth it. You really think I'm going to tell you that? If Boska wasn't an idiot, he'd have gotten his gear into town without asking for permission. It isn't that hard to keep a secret. Not saying that I managed to get my weapons into town, but you get the idea. I ain't keeping ya.
This is unacceptable. What gives Walsh the right to open private shipments addressed to my name?
You have to understand that it's only a precaution, Boska. Ever since you moved here, you've been petitioning non-stop to allow the sale of weapons. My father...
Yes. Your father. I've asked countless times to speak with him privately about his idiotic policy, and still he refuses me. This town's love for pacifism has gone too far. Nobody here wants to admit it, but Skyrim is under attack. Noble warriors on the outside are in desperate need of weapons wherever they go. Let me provide them with the swords that they need, while at the same time helping your father up from the empty pit he's dug himself into.
Don't pretend to care about my father. If you truly wish to help, then you can start by not breaking the rules. Aid the people of Skyrim by going to where they need it most. Do not wait for that opportunity to stumble into town.
You've made your point. So be it. But my chance at saving a little piece of Skyrim is right here in Jonestead. Tell your father that I will no longer be pestering him over this matter. Now take your goods and leave. I have a much more appreciative guest waiting to be served.
Oh, hello. I did not realize you were waiting. You're new to Jonestead, aren't you? It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Kasha. I apologize for giving you a poor first impression of our town. Bosco over there isn't on the best of terms with my father, and I foolishly thought it was a good idea to confront him. But enough of that. It's not every day that a stranger comes to our town. What brings you to Jonestead? This again? Can't you just let me have some time to myself without worrying? Ugh, this is so embarrassing. He won't say it, so I will. Sorry for wasting your time. We should head back to my house before my father sends Walsh out to find us.
Oh, hello. My name is Misty. I wanted to be closer to her, and Jonestead just seemed like the safest place to live.
Kasha, where have you been?
I went to get the food from Adado like you asked.
Which took you hours? Listen, Kasha, you can't keep doing this. Now more than ever, I need to know you're safe. The Civil War and the return of the dragons. This is the perfect chance for them to strike.
Nothing is going to happen, Dad. Almost 20 years of us running away from whatever it is you fear, even longer for you alone. Not once have we been in danger.
Soon you'll understand. I'm so close to finishing this battle. When it is finally over, I'll tell you everything. Trust me.
Trust? How can you say that? You trusted this stranger to bring me back here. When you couldn't trust me to do something so mundane as to bring you food? You haven't left this house since we got news of the attack on Helgen. Keep hiding all you want, but I'm visiting Riften tomorrow. With or without your permission.
Walsh has already been informed to keep an eye on who comes and leaves Jonestead. I made sure to let him know you are not allowed to leave unless I say so. Altog and Bugdol will be outside the gate if you manage to slip out.
Are you insane? Okay, have them do that. I'll find some other way out of here.
That went better than I expected. Not good, but not as bad as how she reacted when we moved out of Solitude when she was a kid. I hope it wasn't a hassle tracking her down. As promised, here's 200 gold. It's not much, but I have some more to spare if you're willing to run one more errand for me. Indeed she did. To her, I'm just an overprotective father. But in reality, I held a truth that would devastate her emotionally. Look around you, friend. There is turmoil wherever you go. Not just Skyrim, but all of Tamriel. War, dragons. But none of that is what worries me. There exists an enemy that has plagued my family for generations. Pinder family has known nothing but their torment ever since the end of the Third Era. I cannot discuss it with anybody except my closest confidants. Not even Walsh knows the real reason why I'm so afraid. The fact that I am even talking to you about this is because I trust you not to say a word to my daughter. Maybe when it is all over, you'll learn about what I was fighting by reading the history books. Or you'll quietly go on with your life as my bloodline comes to a tragic end. Sure. What do you wish to know? I'll be honest with you, friend. Jonestead wasn't built with a source of revenue to begin with. Chaos that's brewing across the province forces us to cut back on imports. We have Ma to Toe to thank for most of our food, but then there are some necessities you can't grow. I poured unspeakable amounts of gold into Jonestead's construction, so I'm not about to stand aside and let it go bankrupt. Worst case scenario, we'd have to start putting prices on what we normally distribute for free to all our citizens. No matter what it takes, I'll make sure it doesn't come to that. I've known nothing but violence my entire life. Jonestead was my chance at creating a safe haven where anyone willing to put down the sword was welcomed. There are times when I am tempted to permit weapons so that we may defend ourselves, but after 10 years, we have yet to have any problems. Including Kasha and I, Jonestead has a population of 16 citizens. You've got Walsh, a good friend and my assistant in making sure all is right in town. There's Zunza, Shabi, and John, probably the most diverse family in all of Skyrim. The wealthy Donda couple, be sure to check Villain's book collection if you're interested. The Orc Mercs, not the friendliest bunch, but they are the most helpful around town when it comes to heavy lifting. The Bosmer twins, don't know much about them since they keep to themselves. Also got Ma to Toe the farmer. He's helped this town immensely these past few years. Jadave the Dunmer lives in a small shack. Quiet man who wishes to spend the rest of his life in peace and quiet. There's also the wandering Abanji. You may find her in the town hall building if she's not roaming about town. Finally, there's Bosca. We hired him to manage the warehouse after the previous caretaker passed away. Fine by me. I'm sure she wouldn't be too happy if all I said was, she's the best daughter in Tamriel. Her mother passed away during childbirth. I'm sure she would have loved Kasha. She was stoic, for lack of a better term, but compassionate. She would have been an excellent mother, and a far better parent than I have been. Beautiful, isn't she? Her looks obviously come from her mother, who was Ashen. They're quite a rare sight in Tamriel. Kasha is actually of mixed race. Ashen, Nord, Imperial, and even Bosmer. Our family has quite a history. No, she doesn't. It's the curse of being a Pinder. Whenever we go on a rare trip outside of Jonestead, we have to disguise ourselves. She abhors having to wear a masked helmet, but it is for our protection. One day she will understand why we do this. But until then, I'm afraid she will not have the opportunity to make any friends. It pains me to put her through this, but I have no other choice. As a matter of fact, yes, she does, and I'm not talking about her errands or chores. To help out with our personal finances, she goes around town providing maid services for a small charge. The Donda schedule her to work every weekday, Zunsa every weekend, and the others hire at random. Kasia loves her job, keeps her entertained in what she would consider a boring old town. She always has fun with Zunza's boy, John. Fine by me. That stubborn Argonian has been insisting on the sale of weapons here in Jonestead to help improve our economy. I understand the need for weapons in Skyrim these days, but I will not allow him to compromise the virtues this town stands for. Besides, we rarely receive any visitors, much less soldiers and adventurers. We'd end up losing more due to shipping costs. Walsh and I have discussed the situation in private, and all that needs to be said is that if he tries to sneak in weapons again, we're kicking him out. That is unfortunate. This isn't the first time Kasia has tried fighting my battles. It must be because I'm getting old and she feels the need to defend me in any given situation. Thank you for telling me. I'll have her apologize to Bosca later, even though what she said in their banner was probably true. Yes, originally I had planned to have you deliver this letter by yourself, but as you saw, Kasia is furious. It would be a load off my back if you can take her with you. May she consider it my unspoken apology for embarrassing her. Usually, she would have to wear a mask whenever she travels with me outside of Jonestead. But I figured since your path is through the wilderness, it wouldn't hurt not to wear it this one time. Exactly what I wanted to hear. Now to tell you where you're going. Do you know of Euphoria Palace? No problem. I'll mark it on your map. Here's a letter. Don't bother trying to read it. It's highly encrypted. Deliver it to one of the guards at the front entrance. They'll know who it's for. It's a brothel. Now before you judge, I have business with the owners, not the courtesans. We go way back. Our friendship during these trying times will be beneficial for us all. This letter is requesting their assistance. That's all there is to it. Have Kasia tag along, deliver the letter to Euphoria Palace, and return for your payment. I'd appreciate if you'd do this immediately. Go tell Kasia about the plan when you're ready. I have to lock the doors behind you. Now if you'll excuse me.
Oh, hello again. Are you planning on staying a while longer? It'd be nice to have some company for once. Thinking about a way to get out of here. Walking up the door won't work if what Dad said is true. Maybe stuff myself into a crate and wait to be shipped off? Bosca sends out shipments every other day. If I sneak into the warehouse during the middle of the night... Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Sure, it would be uncomfortable, but I would be able to squeeze into most of them. Forget it. It was a stupid idea anyway. Maybe I'm just being selfish. My father needs me. I just wish he wouldn't be so paranoid about me getting hurt. Give me one chance to prove that I can look after myself. To explore Skyrim without him by my side. True freedom. What? Are you serious? By the gods, what did you say to him? Doesn't matter. I can't believe it. Thank you so much. Let me get some of my gear. Well, I better bring along my mask, too. I don't know what to say. Ever since I was a child, we would always have to cover our faces everywhere we went. Again, thank you. If only you knew how long I've waited for this opportunity. Where are we going? Ugh. I knew this was too good to be true. Father's obsessed with that disgusting place. He always has an excuse. Delivering a letter, checking up on an old friend. He can't admit that he's going there for, you know. Does he have no shame? Bet that letter is only to schedule another appointment. Yes, it's a chance to finally get out of Jonestead and see the world in a completely new way. I'm not thrilled about the destination, but it should be fun nonetheless. Maybe my father is turning over a new leaf. This could be his way of preparing me to leave the nest. My 20th birthday is coming up. Right behind you. It would be best not to upset my father by taking me anywhere else other than the palace. Not that I would mind, but I'd hate for you to get in trouble. If you have an emergency on the way there, you can send me back to Jonestead. I'll wait inside by the entrance. This is so exciting. No pressure, but let's hurry up and get out of here. These trips to the surface are always special. I forget Skyrim's beauty after spending months stuck in Jonestead. If I did, I wouldn't have had that outburst when you brought me home. I would be more understanding of everything he's put me through since I was born. It has not been easy living and knowing that the only reason I'm not free is because of my father. He loves me, but he can't trust me. How can you say that? He knows that keeping me in the dark is pure torture. Other than what he probably said, there isn't much left to tell. I love my job, but cleaning the same house over and over, not very exciting. If by some miracle I ever leave Jonestead, I'll offer my services to someone in Skyrim. No. My dad and I used to play stick battles when I was a kid. That's the closest thing to training I have when it comes to carrying a sword. I wish I could help you if we wanted any trouble, but I'd just get in the way.
Time to end this mission. No more. Not the best to do. Simon, don't go setting the place on fire, okay?
These trips to the surface are always special. I forget Skyrim's beauty after spending months stuck in Jonestead.
Greetings, sister. You look weary. I have something to help you relax. If the finest skooma, the sweetest moon sugar, at a fair price. What do you think you're doing?
Trouble?
Hold, and stand down. If you want to get into Riften, use the north gate. This one's closed. My orders are to tell the riffraff to use the north gate. That's it. No, you can use the north gate, or you can head to the next city.
Take my advice. Don't listen to that talk of the face sculptor down in the Ragged Flagon. Face butcher is more like it from what I've heard. Welcome to Riften, home of the Thief's Guild. Or so they'd have you believe. It's all lies. They're just thugs, vermin, creeping around the Ratway.
Walk always in the light, or we will drag you to it. You speak to a vigilant of Stendar. Cavort with any Daedra, and we will hunt you down. Yes. Our order was founded after the Oblivion Crisis. We dedicate our lives to facing the threat of Daedra wherever they appear. We're quartered in the Hall of the Vigilant. Keeper Carset heads Skyrim's branch of our order there, providing healing and justice as needed. He is the god of mercy, the patron of order and justice for all of Tamriel. We bring his compassion where none can be found, by cleansing all those who would offend his children. They are profane creatures with no hope of redemption. They lure innocents to their deaths and corrupt the souls of all they touch. And their heretical artifacts grant powers to mortals that wreak havoc across Tamriel. They must be destroyed or guarded to prevent temptation. And any other abominations that prey on mortals? Vampires, werewolves, witches? But Daedra are the worst. Their callous disregard for our lives is abhorrent in the eyes of the God of Mercy. None escape the vigil. All come into the light. The suffering the Daedra cause will not... Walk always in the light, or we will drag you to it. None escape the vigil. All come into the light.
Win this.